over. Woo! All right, that's cool.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Thank you
Hi.
so much for coming. It's nice to see you again, Caitlin. Awesome.
Nice to see you too. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, everybody, thank you so much for coming. If everybody could just ping as many people as possible. I've been looking forward to this event all week long since I found out. All of you here are super, super incredible. And after reviewing all of your stories, I was like, they should just come together and just start one big NFT project because you guys all balance each other out in so many ways and just so unique and different and have so many different strengths. And I think that this is going to be super informative for everybody in the crowd. So my name is Meta Ruth. I'm a 3D NFT artist for Speak Out, Microphone Dolls Against Domestic Violence. Here we have Caitlin Stemple. Did I say your last name correct, by the way? It's Stemple. I said Stemple. Sorry. From Meta Mint Marketing, which is honestly so incredible. Everything that I love and aspire to be. So I definitely have a lot of questions for you. William Pemble, web.com. I'm so excited to hear your story. I come from the domaining space. So that is just what got me into NFTs. I'm so excited. Thank you so much. Amy, nice to see you again. And then, of course, Dr. Vin. Also, I'm an insurance agent, so really crazy to see your story about insurance and blockchain. So, hey, audience, thank you all for being here. I love seeing all your faces. Can we just give these guests a thumbs up for coming here and giving us their time? Wow, thank you guys so much. Yes, we're super excited. So, all right. First and foremost, I want to get into Caitlin. Since you're right next to me, why don't you give us a little background about Meta Mint Marketing and how you got into this Meta Mint Marketing and this personal branding of yours, and when did you start this? What made you say Meta Mint Marketing? I mean, it's so on point. It's just so fire, that name and the services that you do and the empowerment for the women in your mission.
Oh, thank you so much. So I own an agency. I actually own another agency. It's an SEO agency called Rising Ranks Digital. And we've been around for about 6 years now. And then last May, I had a client come to me and I was like, hey, I really want to do this NFT project. I know you don't really know NFTs or not into that space, but we've loved launching with you. Like, will you consider launching with us? So we launched and we crushed it. And at that point in time, that's when I dove in really deep to research in the NFT space. And I had some crypto, so I was familiar, but not familiar with NFT marketing and just like how deep it goes and how much of its own beast it is. So after that, really truly fell in love with the community in the space. And at first we started creating an arm of our other agency, and then quickly realized that it is just it's its own thing. NFTs and Web3 is just really a special beast on its own. So we pulled it out and we incorporated actually in November. So we've been around for about a year. Incorporated just about 6 months ago now at this point, 5 months ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. We jumped in this space and it's been a crazy ride ever since. So it's been really fun.
What advice would you have? I think a lot of people in the audience here, independent artists especially, we're coming in and we're starting with our personal brands because we're trying to develop our projects, right? What advice do you have for people that are starting out with their personal brands while trying to build out their projects?
Yeah, well, that's the beauty about the Web3 space, is that basically your business is your personal brand. And, it's all about getting in and creating connections. I love getting into Twitter spaces and creating connections there. And people just really want to get to know you and what your purpose is, beyond just making money in this space. Because we all know everybody wants to do that. But really, if you have a collection, what's your collection really about? What's the deeper purpose? Who are you as a person? In regards to kind of like building out a business and you're marketing at the same time, document everything. If you're on Twitter, tweet about what really well for you that week, what didn't go well. If you were on TikTok, create videos of you creating your collection, create videos of you talking to your audience. And I would just say show up daily and honestly just come to the space ready and willing to genuinely connect with others and learn about others as well and lift others up.
I find it really interesting because I used to own a solar and a roofing company. And the first year I organically built my company from spamming out buy, sell, and trade groups on Facebook. And the second year I invested in SEO marketing, right? And this year with NFTs and everything like that, it's just been strictly organic. And it's quite incredible to see my following grow from organic. What do you see for SEO marketing moving forward with this type of technology? Because at this point, I feel, in my personal opinion, do you feel like organic is actually more valuable than the SEO in Web3?
Yeah, so I do feel that anyway, kind of goes hand in hand. So first and foremost, I would say, Twitter is where it's at. If you have groups in real life, connections and events that you can go to, do that. So really making those genuine connections is going to be number one. Building your brand also comes with SEO as well. Like people are coming and they're researching your project. So yes, it's probably the most important thing is to show up daily and to connect with other people online. But people are also going to be researching you too. So making sure that you actually are Googleable, I would say, and your collection can be found online. So at least people know, they can easily find your story. They can easily figure out who you are. So, if you're on the top of Google and Google trusts you, more than likely, anyone else is going to trust you too.
Now, what do you think about artists showcasing their artwork on like a Web2 interface like OpenSea? Do you think that positively showcases their artwork, or how do you feel like for marketing and branding wise? I don't know, just do you feel like it could be that's good for a marketplace to refer back to, but the galleries are very important for artists to really showcase their artwork for collectors to buy?
Yeah, I think it serves an interesting purpose. Like, I think they definitely want to have that there, and it is more of a gallery. I don't think they're going to get much organic traffic there. I think the platforms right now are not very conducive to, you know, their own SEO. Like OpenSea, it is hard to kind of search unless you know the exact brand name. But definitely have that on there so you at least have a link to send and add that to your portfolio. So, you know, and I think for Twitter at least, if you have an account on there, a lot of people put Linktree on there, which is, you know, a website where you can put a bunch of different links. So that's a great way to get people there. But yeah, I think anywhere and everywhere you can showcase your work and yourself, go for it and do it.
Awesome. Does anybody in the audience have any questions so far in regards to Meta Mint marketing? I mean, by the way, I can't get over the fact that you got Meta Mint. Like, you're such an early adapter. You grabbed such a wonderful name, Meta Mint. Like, that's mint itself. Like, I don't know, William Pemble from web.com. What do you think about this Meta Mint marketing? This is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Can you agree?
Absolutely, 100%. That's, you know, I've heard that if you had a good domain name, you can go places in life. So once upon a time, we founded web.com. That was a super fun adventure for me when, and the parallels between Web3 and Web 1, if you want to call it that, they are many and potent in my opinion. When we started web.com, the first question the customer would ask us is, so what is a domain name exactly? And that's where we began the conversation. And we would say, well, you know, and if I, you know, my kids know what domain names are. I mean, it's like it's like Kleenex. You would never try to describe something so obvious, but like we started every conversation as, well, it's like, you know, my address, 36 Park Avenue, that's where I live, that's my address. Now a domain name is like a digital address. And then the next question was, isn't that kind of a scam? Isn't that kind of nonsense? And then we would go through that conversation. So if you think about NFTs in particular, the first question anybody ever asks me about NFT is, what's an NFT? And then we say, okay, have you ever owned a pack of baseball cards, or, you know, or have you ever like purchased a house and had a title search done, or, you know, just like any number of authenticating transactions that happen. And that's basically what an NFT is. And an NFT is just a certificate of authenticity, a signed baseball card, if you will. And so like, and so just like Caitlin was talking about, I mean, we've all kind of accidentally found our way into this industry. Like my clients, the first time one of my clients said, hey man, what's all this crypto blockchain NFT stuff? I was like, you know what? I'm really hoping that I don't have to ever find out. I'm hoping my career is close enough to being over to where I can just like watch others, right? I've already done Web 1, I've already done Web 2, I'm good. But I kept getting asked, and generally speaking, the more resistant I am to an idea, the more I feel like I should lean in and learn, right? It's like, no, it's stupid. I don't like it. I don't want to talk about it. And that's how I know I should pay attention, because like all of my instincts are telling me to run. And so I lean in when I get like, you know, threatened or puzzled. What I've discovered about NFT blockchain crypto is that it's not at the core of it. The technology is not super magical. It's not super crazy. It's just that we have a language challenge before us, right? We've named every part of this industry. We've named them in the most difficult ways possible in terms of understanding. The word blockchain literally blocks us from understanding what it is. If I say supply chain, you know what that means. If I say bicycle chain, you know what that means. If I say blockchain, things happen in your brain to stop you thinking about what that might be. You can't make a chain out of blocks, blah, blah, blah. So when somebody says blockchain to me, I say, oh, well, it's really easy. It's an encrypted spreadsheet, full stop. That's all the blockchain is. It's just a list of things that happened, and it's really well encrypted. And so I love, you know, getting back to MetaMint. That is, of course, that's an awesome domain name. And now all Caitlin has to do is continue to earn the value that is in that domain name. And so that's going to be the adventure, just like web.com, right? It's a frictionless brand. You know, web.com, people just like, we got 300,000 uniques a month just because we had the domain name. And then we had to earn it. We had to deliver product and service and brand and excellence and passion and all of those things, because people show up at a name like web.com, or people show up at a name like MetaMint. You better have your shit together. So that's the adventure I would imagine, Caitlin. We haven't met, but I would imagine that's the adventure you have before you.
So William, you know, coming from Tammy, did you have a question, Tammy?
I just wanted to make a comment because I love Caitlin. She's like, I love her so much.
I love you too, Tammy. Thank you for being here.
You're welcome. I'm always going to be.
And I want to go after everybody because I got some news.
I'm just going to save the questions at the end, and then just going to go around and save the questions for the end, and just kind of keep this algorithm going. That
okay. I'll wait
if you guys don't mind. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. We love the support. You guys rock. Thank you for being here. The thing is, William, what I'm finding is I come from the domain space, right? I have a whole portfolio of domains. And so about 6 months ago, my friends in the industry started liquidating their portfolios and they started getting into NFTs. And now that I've been in the space for the last 6 months, actually 4 to 5 months, but it feels like 6 months, I found that there's a divide within my community, right? So half the community is all for Web3, and the other half is like, well, F this, I ain't, what the IPs don't transfer over, it's still the same IPs, right? And so there's a divide within the community right now of domainers, and you know, how do we keep the communities together? I've been doing one-on-one consultations, showing them the evolution of the technology, the 3D VR websites, right? Because a lot of websites now are 3D websites, whether they're a 2.5 platform, right? Not even decentral. You don't have to fully go decentralized. You can still have a 2.5, website. I mean, what is the best way to kind of gently guide, tour, encourage, and inspire these domainers who are kind of discouraged about going towards Web3? I mean, obviously you believe in Web3, as you have an NFT project.
Yeah, I mean, well, I would say in a lot of ways that your question is your answer. A great way. We're all different. One of my favorite things in the world is the fact that Snoop Dogg and Martha Stewart have a collaboration and a show together, right? Because you look at Snoop Dogg and Martha Stewart, and it just makes no sense at all. And I watched an interview with Snoop one time, and somebody asked him, how the heck does that work? And Snoop said, just very simply, he says, it's hard to hate up close. And I think that's a super important message, not just in relation to like what you're talking about, but also across the freaking boards, right? And so like, and again, when I heard this like crypto blockchain nonsense, I was like, you know what? I have enough money. I don't want to get involved with like the dark mode crowd, right? I don't want to, it's like I'm too old for that nonsense. And so my initial reaction is, no, it's new, it's different. I don't fully understand it instantly. So no, it's stupid. But if I give myself a chance, and if I give other people a chance, and it's like, take a look. And so what are the similarities between Web 1 and Web 3, if we're like, looking at primes or odd numbers or something like that? And so there's a whole lot of similarities between Web 1 and Web 3. Web 1 was very decentralized. There weren't great big companies like Google and Facebook and everybody. We weren't the product in Web 1. We were selling products in Web 1. We were sharing ideas in Web 1. We were writing static content. There weren't APIs talking back and forth, figuring out, creating metadata, blah, 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 all of that Web 2 stuff, which, One might argue made a whole new world of commerce and education and communication possible, and somebody else might argue that it was the absolute destruction of democracy, right? It's like there's room for everybody in this tent. And so for my domain name folks, right, and I'm like one of the OG domain people, right? If you ever had an alternate domain name suggested to you, you're welcome, because my gang invented that shit. If you ever had a private domain name registered, you're welcome, because web.com, or I'm sorry, depending on how you feel, our company created those technologies and those business models that have endured for decades. And so what I know about the difference from Web 1 to Web 2 is it's not a straight up cutoff. And I know that Web 2 to Web 3 is not a straight up. I know that Web 4, big business like Google, Facebook, all of those companies, they're going to figure out how to take it all over again, right? And so I can tell you what Web 4 will look like, because it's going to look a lot like Web 2, but we're going to have different names. So I try to listen to people when they give me reasons something is stupid. I say, I know that must be hard. I try not to convince, and I just try to lead by example. I just try to offer people the opportunity to kind of hang around with me, walk with me, look at what I'm doing. And if they want in, welcome. And if they don't, maybe we can just get together and have coffee sometime.
I love that. That is, lead by example is always, I think, the best strategy. That was, wow, super empowering. So thank you so much. And then I think we have here Amy. Please introduce yourself. I apologize, I'm just so excited. You guys all have so much value here. Amy,
You during the earlier part you didn't get a chance to introduce me, so I'll do it for myself.
Yes.
I'm Amy Kalnoki, co-founder and COO of a company called Bitwave. We've been around since 2018. We were founded to help businesses transact in digital assets, specifically around the accounting, bookkeeping, tax tracking pieces. So we have a software that NFT creators, that crypto traders, that anyone who's running a business in Web3 can use to do their bookkeeping and their accounting, and figure out, what taxes they would owe and need to report every April. And so with NFTs in particular, if you're running a business, you're creating NFTs, you're the artist, you should be tracking things like your expenses, your gas fees. If you're, when you're minting, you can take that as a write-off. This is nothing as tax advice. I'm not an accountant. I make the software, but you could use our software to track that as a business expense. So when you're figuring out your taxes at the end of the year, you have all your expenses categorized already. You already know what you spent in fees or what it took to create the product that you're selling. And in this case, that might be an NFT.
Wow. You're a really smart girl, because I truly believe that the money is in making software. If you really think about it, it's in the software that we're all using.
Absolutely. And I like to think of our software, we're really a platform, and we connect with all the different blockchains. We connect with traditional accounting solutions. So even when you're making software, I think it's really important to be part of a community and to be a good ecosystem player and make sure that your product can send data in and out. People, use Bitwave, and they connect their different wallets so that they can bring their blockchain data into Bitwave, and then we'll take that and we'll export that into, like, if they're still using QuickBooks or something like that. It's really important. I really see us as a software platform, not just the software itself.
That is really a need. That's a need. It's a need for a lot of people. So wow, I'm super excited to learn more about that. I know I have ADHD. It's the first thing under my bio, under Linktree. ADHD, introverted, extrovert. So people like me definitely need that, especially while we're creating. So super excited about that. Thank you. And then Soy Fiera, the first crypto artist in Colombia. I saw your video, super empowering. I am Puerto Rican, so Latina, female, with a lot of strong women in this space. Please introduce yourself. And if you don't know how to unmic your microphone, It's right next to the video camera. So there's the plus sign, video camera, and the microphone. If you can hear me, oh, I think she's got a little bit bad internet. Soy,
Hey.
is she there? There you go. I think I just heard her. Soy, you there? You just gotta unmic the microphone. Can you guys hear me? Put a thumbs up.
You hear
there
me?
you go.
You hear me?
All right, cool. Awesome. Please introduce yourself.
Sorry. I was in an elevator. So yeah, my name is Fira. I was the first female NFT artist from Colombia. I just arrived from Dubai, and it's really nice to share my street experience and to be a bridge between Latin America and the rest of the world. Because unfortunately, not everyone speaks English here, so I like to be that bridge between the two worlds.
Thank you. We definitely have a need in the community for sure. So we'd love to have you back, and maybe we can have a conversation. There's a lot of plans that I have for the community and others in the audience. We're looking for solutions. So happy that you're on the platform. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr.
Anything you need,
Hey.
just let me know, or questions you have.
Oh, I need you. We need you. That's for sure. Dr. Vin, how you doing, Dr. Vin? Oh my gosh, your bio. You really love the 4-letter domains. Really, you love the 4-letter domains. So many corporations. I think I saw something that. Is there a blockchain that has insurance on it or something like that? Tell us about what you do. All right, you just got to unmic the microphone.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, lovely. Okay, my name is Vin Manon. I'm primarily from Singapore. So my journey started somewhere in 2015-16 period, where our vision was to create a blockchain ecosystem, and this ecosystem should be able to provide the unregulated space of blockchain/crypto to as close as a regulated insured kind of a space. So why we were thinking in that direction, that most of the people, like the mainstream is always looking at regulated products in blockchain. So be it crypto, be it dApps, applications, NFTs, Metaverse, any of these. So how can you make that part of the environment more safe, investable? And that is a kind of a vision which we are having. And in that process, we started creating the first exchange, which was fully regulated and fully insured. In 2017, we launched. So recently, we went public in the US markets. This was like last year, 2021. Then we started moving into creating our own blockchain, which is a layer 2, which made it like the world's first fully and only insured blockchain. That means any assets coming and injecting into our blockchain, which is fully insured by a traditional insurance. That means it is fully reinsured by Lloyd's of London markets, which is rated AAA, and some of the Lloyd's of London syndicates, minimum rating AA minus in that rate. So that will make most of the family offices, institutions, the high net worth individuals, those who really want to move into blockchain or crypto space with sizable investments, this is the kind of environment they will be looking at. they really would not be, interested in a fully decentralized mode. Even though I'm a strong advocate of decentralization, but I feel that for getting into mainstream and going global and creating more awareness and bringing institutions to this part of the world, you have to be somewhere regulated, insured, or sort of hybrid model. So that is where our work were. So we got this, the exchange business went public. So that's doing pretty well. Then we got a Bitcoin denominated fund, Southeast Asia's first insured Bitcoin denominated fund. That's also doing pretty well. We made like how we can use decentralized finance to to help people to invest into crypto without going through the complex technical process of staking, yield generating, LP tokens, considering back, taking back to stable coins, etc. So we have created one simple EC123 kind of a platform to do the whole crypto investment, and that is also doing pretty well. Then we also created an ecosystem of a technology company, a tokenization business, and now we are in the process of creating a crypto investment bank, which is lacking. And all of us know that the moment you move into crypto business, the traditional bankers are having their own conservative approach towards your bank accounts. So we are setting up a crypto-friendly bank as well, which Matthew was saying, it's going to be a Puerto Rico IFP license. So this is the kind of an ecosystem we built, and some part of the business injected back to public companies, basically for the purpose that the confidence level of institutional investors will be much higher. And in the NFT space and Metaverse, we are working with the Pope Francis Foundation to do the NFTing of some of the art created by Pope Francis himself, and also setting up a gallery in Metaverse for the whole museum concept for the foundation. So these are the areas which we are working.
I'm super excited. That's super great. I love, I come from the insurance industry as well. What don't I do? I do everything. So and so I absolutely love that. William, I want to know about this Coaster Punks project. Apparently you create roller coasters. I saw a couple of your roller coasters in your backyards, and also you created a carbon neutral roller coaster, and you also have it's on the blockchain platypus. Is that on the Avalanche blockchain or something like that? I saw something in regards to, I didn't believe it. I mean, I didn't, I was like, roller coasters? I mean, you legitimately have a roller coaster project, NFT project. Can you tell us a little bit more about this project and what you plan on doing with it, and the artwork and all of that, and this renewable energy aspect to it? Because we're big on social impact in the audience. And environmental, obviously.
Yeah, thanks. Great question. I should also point out maybe that only my mother and my parole officer call me William. Everybody else calls me Will.
Oh.
So once I'll give you the quickest story I can about the roller coaster thing. Once upon a time, this was like almost 10 years ago. My son was 11 years old. We'd finished up a summer vacation where we went to a bunch of amusement parks and rode a bunch of roller coasters. My 11-year-old boy says, "Dad, wouldn't it be cool if we had a roller coaster in the backyard?" And I thought about that for about a second, and sort of like in Hamilton style, I realized two things at the same moment. I realized, first of all, that if I did this for my son, if I built him a roller coaster, he would take that experience and that joy and that adventure with him through the rest of his life. He would tell friends about it when he was at work. He would have that whole thing, and it would be an experience that he and I would have forever and could never be created in many other ways. The other thing that I realized at the same moment is that if I did it, I would prove once and for all that I was a much better dad than my brother. And And those were the two motivating factors to build the roller coaster. So 3 months, we built a roller coaster in the backyard. It was a lot of fun. Hackaday discovered it. Good Morning America discovered it. I discovered that I really enjoy building roller coasters. And so we built another one in the front yard, and then we built one at my friend's house, and then I built one for the Maker Faire in San Francisco. The 5th roller coaster I built was there's a Netflix show about it that you can find. And so Netflix came and filmed the build of the roller coaster, and over the years, I've grown a community of roller coaster enthusiasts and engineers and aerospace people and designers and makers and so like roller coasters. It's a thing. And then I got this. I'm actually in it right now. I have this warehouse, which is kind of like my workshop that I just got because my garage wasn't big enough. So I've got 3,000 square feet of warehouse. It's 25 feet high. And I was talking to some people, and I was like, it would be cool if we built like a Space Mountain kind of roller coaster right here in the shop. Well, how are you going to pay for that? Well, what we decided is maybe let's launch an NFT. And so I went out to my community and I said, hey, we're going to launch an NFT. We're going to try to raise some money, and we're going to build a really, really fancy roller coaster with projection mapping and, engineering. And it's going to be space themed because I'm a fan of NASA's Artemis project. And so we're going to have a lunar habitat in here and all sorts of really crazy fun stuff. And then I put that out there to the community, and they were like, NFT, dude, what about the environment? And I was like, all right, give me a minute. Let me look into that. And so we decided on the roof of this warehouse, we're going to put either a 9 or an 18,000 square foot solar array on the roof, which will generate somewhere in the neighborhood of 200,000 kilowatts of energy 5 or 6 hours a day, which is essentially enough energy to power 25 American homes all year round. The solar farm lasts about 20 years. And so okay, energy's a thing. Let's just make our own energy. And so we're going to build enough energy essentially to power about a third of the Solana or Polygon blockchains, as you prefer. And then some Mythbusters found out. So Carrie Byron, who's one of the original Mythbusters, if you remember that show, Tamara Robertson, who's one of the second generation Mythbusters, they found out about this, and then Carrie owns a production company called Explore Media, which creates educational content for kids. And they were like, oh my God, you're building another thing. I saw the Netflix show. Can we film this build and turn it into educational content, like a STEM and STEAM learning series for teens and tweens? Because that's our business. We'll create curriculum. We'll expose all of this information to 2 million kids who are on our platform. And so we're creating educational content around what my YouTube channel calls Physics, Family, and Fun. And so we're gonna create a full-on TV series about Project Moonshot. The name of the coaster is going to be Moonshot, and we're going to build the solar farm so that we can manage the environmental conversation and help push the NFT blockchain industry towards not just carbon neutrality, but carbon negativity. Negative is good in this sense. We want to generate more electricity than we use, and I can do that on the roof of my freaking warehouse here. So Coaster Punks is the NFT project that does all of that. Some of the utilities that'll come for people who buy the Coaster Punks is we're going to have a big old launch party here. So there'll be one golden ticket that you can come and be the first person to ride what is going to end up being a multi-$100,000 like Disney level ride. We've got retired Disney Imagineers that are working on this project. We've got retired Boeing aerospace engineers. We've got astronauts. There's so many people. We've got a TV deal. and so it's turned into this incredibly huge thing. I'll be at NFT NYC in June. We'll be talking about it then. But like what I've discovered along the way is along the way of doing this is that it really is true that community is what makes the thing work, because I've had all of these connections all of this time, and I had no idea how much impact. There's a kid named Gus Machado. He's got 2 million TikTok followers in Brazil, and he builds roller coasters. And I reached out to Gus and I was like, hey man, we're doing this thing. You want to get in on this? And he goes, oh my God, it's you. And I was like, what? He was like, you taught me how to make roller coasters. I've been watching your videos forever. And he's like 19, right? He's a year older than my son. So Gus is now part of the project. We're flying him to the United States. He's going to help us. He's going to help us with this project. And it's like, I had no idea the impact that all my silliness has created. And the NFT, the Coaster Punks NFT, has given voice and purpose and an almost a physicality to that community. And it couldn't have happened any other way.
Why? You're making me emotional. You're making me emotional. Like, this is, because honestly, this is what it's about. And this actually segues to my next question. So I would really like to know, because we have a marketer here, Caitlin, can you explain, being at marketing, community building, how you have elevated in so many levels. I read your story. I saw you were in Forbes. I saw you were part of so many organizations. You were loved by so many people. The key words that I'm getting back from William saying, I went to my community. I went to my community with this NFT project. That is the key words. So how does one build a community, Caitlin? How have you built your community?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, I think that everybody in this space is somewhat new, and it's evolving so fast that we all are kind of just on the same ride together. And it's kind of like this joint, like, all right, we're going to come together and we're going to overcome this. And it's also so early that we can write our own pages. We can write the own chapter of the story of history. And I think that's really exciting for a lot of people. And you'll notice that a lot of people in this space are coming with really big purposes and are coming to change the world and to shape the direction that it's going in, which is just so incredible. And it really makes for a fabulous community. And right now it is a community that is so special. And I know for myself, so, my marketing agency is really focused on female focused brands. And so when I came into the industry, my big thing, and all the stats out there were saying, hey, it's 15% women, give or take a few percentage, but the money being made by women in this space drops down to 5%. So if you are a woman in this space and you get into this space, people are here and ready to help lift you up. And that's what I've seen. And when I first came to this space, I had so many people reach out to me and just be like, hey, I love what you're doing. I personally saw a need. I saw that there was an industry with a lot of people coming in to create NFTs, but there aren't a lot of service providers to help support these people. So that was my huge thing. And that is the reason why I jumped in, is because, especially these artists, they need CPAs, they need lawyers, they need psychologists, they need marketers. And so for me, it was really important to help the people who are helping shape the future. And I came in there with my purpose, guns blazing, and reached out to women myself. Seeing how many women have come to me to uplift me and support me. And it's not just women. I'm just saying that just from my own personal experience, but the men are doing the same thing too. And there are some incredible men in the space, some incredible, BIPOC women. There are, there's a huge LGBTQIA community, which is fabulous. And everybody is just rallying around each other, which is so amazing to see. And, my purpose is to come in there and really to help, move that forward and really keep that special thing that we have going on there. So if you are interested in getting the space, hop in, reach out to people, and everyone, it doesn't matter how big their following is. It doesn't matter, how big of names they are. They know that we are doing something special together, and they are there to help you do that.
Wow. Thank you. So, yeah, we had 3 women on stage. 4 women on stage, it's just so mind blowing. 4 women on stage, right? And I really believe that there is hope for change with this, I believe, revolution. So thank you for that. And Amy, how do you feel? Gosh, the software alone, that is just incredible. You guys are all such innovators and creative. It's just so mind blowing. What do you feel? I know you said you're not an accountant, but you're creating this software.
Yeah.
What do you see the future as far as regulations and taxes?
Yeah. I mean, I think right now people are really doing their best to try and apply existing guidance and tax regulations to the Web3 world and to NFTs. And, like you can look at NFTs and say, or am I buying this NFT as a collectible? And then it would have a tax treatment more like a piece of art in the physical world. Or am I like a business? Am I a creator? And this is something I'm buying and selling for business purposes. And then you can apply other existing tax laws. And as we move to the future, I think guidance and regulations that were instead of created for the old, physical world, web, 1 and web 2 world and just that are being applied to web 3, I think we will see some regulations and some guidance that were specifically written for the new world that we find ourselves in. I think most people try to do their best. I mean, certainly if you're running a business, businesses have fiduciary duties to keep good records and pay their taxes and stuff like that. And for the most part, I see people really trying to do that. But sometimes those old regulations, they don't quite fit perfectly. We're not really talking about DeFi here today, but like DeFi, trying to apply existing accounting rules to like all the different stuff that goes on in DeFi is really, really hard. NFTs, at least there's a clearer parallel to the like older kind of laws that are on the books. So I think we'll see more guidance and more regulations. And I think that they'll be better suited to the way people are really interacting with these digital assets.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, it's,
yeah,
we just have to put our best foot forwards, and what you're doing is great.
Yeah, because not everyone also agrees. Not everyone agrees on the way different regulations should be interpreted. It actually has meant that at my company, Bitwave, we have to build in a lot of optionality into our software because people interpret the guidance because it wasn't specifically written for Web3 and for digital assets. Different accountants interpret the guidance differently. And as the software provider, we actually have all these knobs and dials on the back end that we have a full onboarding process because two different accountants could have two different opinions on what to do, and our software has to be flexible enough to handle that.
Wow, that's like a lot to different perspectives, dealing with different accountants, and coming from renewable energy, dealing with accountants, they always have little different opinions. Yes, that is a credit, not a credit. So now we're dealing with cryptocurrency. Wow, that must be interesting experience.
Yeah, it definitely is, but it's an exciting time. And I've worked in other, my background is enterprise software, and so people talk a lot about women in this space, and I always think, I look around and I think that there are a lot of women in the Web3 space, because coming from enterprise, like deep enterprise software, there were like way fewer women, the percentage here. So I look around and I get really excited, and I think that the Web3 community really is moving in the right direction and equaling out representation. It's definitely the most diverse industry I've ever been a part of.
I agree. I mean, I've always worked in, I graduated high school as a hairdresser, and I immediately started working at a car dealership after college, doing finance. And I've been in a male-dominated industry since, because I've always been like hard money industries, and I like the hustle, right? But I never thought Web3 would bring me to, I just want to be with my girls all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want to be with women all the time, and I never was that type of girl. I'm like, where's my Web3 girls? And speaking of that, Soy, I know Soy, speaking of women, independent, strong woman, Soy from Colombia. I would love to hear your perspective of, where you think Web3 is taking women and the community. But I think she's losing some Wi-Fi. Are you there, Soy? Soy. She may be losing some service. So we have about another 10 minutes. So I wanted to open up the floor. Now that we kind of have an understanding of everything, does anybody have any questions? All right. If you guys can just raise your hand, and then when you raise your hand, just come up. I'll bring you up to the stage, and then we could ask a question. But before there, there's Soy. Hi, Soy. I had a question for you. If you can hear me.
Yeah.
Oh, and then she gets a phone. She's Miss Popular over here.
Hey.
Listen,
Hey.
How
I can
are
hear you.
you?
I can hear you.
I wanted to. Oh, okay. Oh, Miss Popular. I wanted to ask you, where do you think women in Web3 are going as far as a community? Where do you think that careers are going for women? You know, what do you think, and where do you think especially for the Latino community and women, you know, where do you foresee the happening for us? I mean, I'm a woman, I'm Hispanic, you know, what do you see for the future?
Oh, sorry. They are calling me. I need to go WhatsApp and tell them don't call me. Sorry.
No problem. Take your time. All right. Who has a question? Come on up, Ron.
Firstly, I want to thank you,
Hey.
Meadows. Oh, you okay?
Yeah. They were calling me. My team. They're like, you need to be here. I was like, yeah, I'm here. Look at me.
I'm losing
So
service.
the thing is, for me, is not women or men. For me, it's just the technology is just fucking amazing. You need to understand that when you mix art and technology, you have digital art, and when you mix digital art and blockchain, you have NFTs. So that's the magic of what's happening right now. And you can work and do whatever you want from any part of the world. So the invitation I tell to people is just mix your passion with like blockchain and just do it. That's I don't know what is the name. Maybe it doesn't exist. In my case, are NFTs. In other cases, crypto fashion. In other cases, doesn't exist. So create it because we are in Web3 right now.
Yeah, you seem really happy. I mean, you seem really happy. You seem like you're breaking through so many layers of the metaverse. And it's super exciting to watch your story. You know, what has been your inspiration and motivation to you? I know you said you love the technology, as you know, I think many of us in here. What was it that made you want to dive deep into this?
Because I'm a free soul. I love to travel all around the world. I love to be independent. So it's the best combination, and I love my passion is to connect with people. So when you I paint one line traces portraits, so I meet a lot of people. Yesterday in my house were 20 people, and all of them were really passionate about. So I use my art to connect with people. And my digital art have a value. Before it doesn't have a value. I need to print it for shit.
What's the name of your project?
I don't have a project. I'm a one
Okay.
artist. I'm
One of
just so
one.
feed out. Yeah. I don't do monkeys. I make every of my NFTs by myself.
I love that. I love that. And when we're done, I'll make sure that we set it up on your profile so that everybody can take a look at it. So thank you so much. I love one of one art. I think it's super meaningful. And I love generic NFT projects, but one of one art is one of a kind, literally.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
thank you so much. And we're going to open up the floor for some questions. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Ron, come on up.
Firstly, I want to thank you, Meadows, for hosting and for Connect.Club for the technology. Bienvenida, soy Fira, and appreciate you all, Amy, Caitlin, and Will. My question is, and I'm going to qualify. I'm also a data-driven marketer. I've analyzed the past year over 4,000 collections in the collectible space, over 5,000 different artists, and I'm tracking over 100 different companies in the space, to assess what's going on. Now, what I'm seeing, based upon the data, even though it's short for the past year, right? I consider March of 2021 kind of the start of it. I see from a collector point of view, after a month, which I call the honeymoon, about 95 to 97% of these projects essentially go down to zero almost, and you have highly qualified JPEG in your wallet, which is beautiful because I believe in the art and the artists. But when we are at an age right now, and I say age because I think that this past year is equivalent to maybe like 3 years in the in IRL world. We're at I think an inflection point, uh, uh, as per what happened with Yuga Labs last month, acquiring IPs and launching essentially with the backing of $450 million, in VC capital. Their other side, Metaverse, other deed, etc. What I want to know from your perspective, I know we use the buzzword, the community, we use tokenization, we use utilities, et cetera, gamification. We can add a whole bunch of the buzzwords that we've been used to. From your point of view, as people who are in the industry, what do you see as the most, for both smaller teams, independent teams? What do you foresee this year and beyond as the most important factor, especially when brands, they're not coming, they're already here, and when you're trying to go out there and compete, uh, I feel not only for the collectors who hold the pieces, but also for the teams who, after a couple months, have to essentially, you know, uh, don't have a business anymore. Because I think again, people don't realize that this is a startup business. It's not a crowdfunding business, and at this point in time, you need to have not only the capacity to to have the investment up front, during, and for the next year coming forward. But I want to hear from your perspective, with many clients, uh, especially Caitlin and Will, from strategic point of view. What are the most important thing for them to be consistent in the space? So I thank you for your time, and I appreciate you all. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I can answer that. That's a really great question. What I've seen lately is that the disruptors are the ones who are going to keep going. So, and this is actually like a very layered and probably long-winded question, but you have a few different ways that this could happen. So, being a disruptor, doing something different. A lot of people are coming in, and they're coming in with the mindset of like, okay, like what can I offer my community versus of like, who do I want to connect with and what do they actually need? So you're seeing a lot of these projects come with the same exact utility because one collection did it and it worked out really well. So then it's kind of like you get everybody who follows that. And then you'll get another collection that comes in and does it a little bit differently. So I'd say always make sure that you are disrupting, being creative, keeping the momentum going is really important, whether it is for your launch or even after launch. Like, what are you doing in your community to keep the hype up, to keep the community going? Staying relevant is a big one too. What's going on in the industry that you can tap into? Are you going to these in real life events? Is there an issue going on in the industry that you, as a leader in the collection, can kind of take a stand on, or you can help drive some, like, the people overcome something, if that makes any sense, or kind of go along with where the industry is going. Reoccurring income is always a good one to keep people going, like having rewards for people holding on and delisting their NFT. So it's a little bit of everything, but I guess what it comes down to is having a long-term plan and having a long-term strategy beyond just the launch that is going to keep people really excited about what you're doing. Let me know if you have any follow questions for that.
Yeah, and before we proceed, I just want to encourage everybody. Hi, it's me. I'm with the Crown. I just want to encourage everybody to join our Discord channel. If you click on my face on my avatar, the link is in my bio. It says join Connect Club Discord. And that way you guys can chat outside of Connect Club, meet each other, just talk, plan events. We have a big event coming, and you can like be a part of it, sort of like not like be a part of it, like see how it all comes together and everything. So definitely join the Discord channel, and yeah, continue.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
Hi everyone. Hello.
How you doing, darling?
I'm doing all right. Are you? Oh,
Good.
you're so gorgeous. So gorgeous.
You're gorgeous.
The Discord, I was just going to say also, because she slipped in with that. I struggle with that. I really don't know how to use it and stuff and that. So, if there's a little bit of help out there, I'd appreciate that. I'm signed up to it. I've got it on my phone and everything, but I don't know how to sort of like even do a little chat on there or something. It doesn't let me, and I can't figure out why. So that was a bit about the Discord. But my question was to Soy. Soy, where is the 3 number 1 places you would show your art?
You listen? Hi. My first one is OpenSea. I was
Yes.
born there, so I realized that many artists that started like in March, all of us started in OpenSea. Then we start moving to other platforms.
Yes. Okay. Yes, after the OpenSea, would you just begin there, and that's it, sort of thing, as a beginner? Do you understand what I mean? Would you actually just stick with the OpenSea, or there's Rareables and there's other places as well, or would you just stick with OpenSea?
I also have my art on Bitcoin. I just arrived from Miami to Bitcoin 2022, and I launched my NFTs on Carnival Art on a smart contracts on Bitcoin that is RSK. So I'm super happy
Oh, that's
about
cool.
that.
Yeah.
Also, they just
So
called
we're-
me from Binance, and they want my NFTs on
Okay.
Binance.
Yeah, we'd love to obviously know how to do all them things as well, as artists and that. So it'd be lovely to hear some classes on that. Anyway, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. That's me.
Thank you, Miss Skink. Energy Kim, did you have a question earlier? I feel like I saw your hand go up, or who has a question? I saw someone's hand go up earlier. Ragu. I see Ragu, my friend from domaining in the other audience section. Ragu, come on up? We got the web.com guy here.
I have to drop everyone, but it was nice to meet everyone. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank
I really enjoyed meeting everyone and chatting today.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Please come back. I would love
right.
to have you guys come back for individual AMAs.
Yeah, that would be great. I'd love to. And if
We
anyone
take
has
a
any
selfie
questions,
with our blue hearts. I'm
Oh
sorry.
yeah, everybody come closer to the guests. Let's just do blue hearts with them
Before they leave.
before you leave. If everybody can just come closer. Okay, I'm just gonna.
Mega roof. Oh.
Everybody.
Look, it's just as crazy as getting a room full of real people all together.
Oh, it's so true. That's hilarious.
All about that timing right there.
Caitlin, we gotta hang out, yo.
I know we do. I'm gonna be at NYC, so NFT
Oh,
NYC. Yeah, I'll come find you.
It's in the midnight in South Korea.
Yeah, I'm speaking at NFT NYC about NFT accounting. So if anyone is there, definitely come to the
Cool.
session and hit me up. I'll be out in New York.
Yeah.
Yes.
Crazy important topic. It's like, okay, great. Now I got all this crypto from my awesome NFT project. What do I do with it?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
You
short
definitely-
version of that is like, poor people figure out how they're going to spend a bunch of money once they get it, and rich people figure out how they're going to turn it into another bunch of money once they get it.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
a really important crypto question: is how do I manage it?
Yep,
Yes.
exactly. Yeah, a treasury management system. You can use our platform for that. It's super
Yep.
important. Just tracking your wallets gets really difficult if you have multiple wallets, and if you're, liquidating on several different exchanges. Just tracking it, just knowing where your crypto is, and having
Yeah.
a single view into all your holdings is really important.
Yeah.
and a big
Because
piece
that's
of
how
what
the
we
brain
do.
works. I mean, it's like the way we organize things in our mind is 1, 2, 3, many. And if
Yeah.
you're in this
Mhm.
business any amount of time, you're going to have many crypto wallets, and you will lose track of that shit. I promise.
Yep, exactly.
So much agree
So
with
yes,
that.
please.
Can you give me your link to your tracking, AK? Oh, Amy.
Yeah.
That's your name, Amy.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
assisting
Amy.
Amy.
Yeah.
Can you give
Yeah,
me
it's
the
go to bitwave.io. bitwave.io. That's a link there. You can do a contact form or
Bitway?
email.
Excuse me. Let me pull.
Here's Christine. I'll
know
send
it.
it to you. I'll send
Thank
it
you,
to you.
Mega Ruth. Thank you.
No problem. William, I have a question for you. I'm going to throw you a curveball, if you don't
All right.
mind. What do you think of this domain I got? I got megaparcels.com.
Megaparcels.com. So my super objective take on domain names, and again, you got to remember I'm a grumpy old man, right? And so my idea about domain names is if you can have a .com domain name, that's still better. So like we own CoasterPunks.io and CoasterPunks.com. I say CoasterPunks.com because that way I don't have to explain it to old people. So
right.
My notion about it is, if you can say, so megaparcel.com, is that your domain?
What?
What's your domain
Yeah.
name? Megaparcel.com. So
Megaparcels.com.
parcels plural.
Yeah, megaparcels.com.
Okay, so I would
like,
go register.
you know how-
I would go register megaparcel.com because you and I just made that mistake, right? So let's solve that problem, and then let's solve the 2 or 3 other spelling error problems, and then from then, if it's more than 4 letters or 6 letters or just an incredibly identifiable word, it's going to all be about SEO. It's all going to be about page 1 Google, and if you've got money, then it's going to all be about awesome PPC strategy. That's my 60-second university on domain naming.
And how do you feel about these .xyzs?
If it's if it's anything but, so like we say .io, it's like, oh well, that's for Web3. Okay, well it's not really for Web3. It's just the domain name system. If it's anything but a .com, you've got a little bit of an uphill battle, and then that takes you to how good is your search optimization and how good is your PPC strategy, and your PPC strategy is 60% about how much money you've got to spend on AdWords. And so that's, I don't feel any way about any domain extension except .com. I think those are the best.